Welcome back, Homebodies. So today's video is going to be just a smidget different. I am going to talk a little fast, but I wanted to come and introduce myself. I've been on YouTube unfaithfully for about 8 years, okay? And initially when I started this channel, it was a beauty channel, okay? So everybody already knew me. Everybody watching my videos already knew me. So literally all I was doing was recording the video, uploading it, and then sending the link directly to that person that made the request for said video. Now, things always graduate for me. They never stay simple. So it went from just, you know, a couple of makeup tricks to now, you know, people ask me how was I doing certain things with the kids. And when I say the kids, or when I talk about my kids, know that I only birthed one child, okay? However, my niece and nephew are always with me. And those are the kids that I'm speaking of. Their parents are active, y'all. So don't think that my sister and brother are just like out living their best life. No. My sister works full-time, my brother works full-time, and my husband works overtime, okay? And I just prefer to stay home. I prefer to be with the kids. They were smaller. And you know, when you work full-time, who really on their off day want to get up and then take their kids, I'm sorry, and then take your kid to go do something? Like, no, I'm already home. Just bring the kids over by me. We'll go do what we doing, and you know, so on and so forth. So that's just, you know, a preamble so that you understand when I say kids, that's what I'm talking about, okay? So I wrote down some notes, so if you see me looking down, that's because I want to stay on topic and I don't want this video to go over 15 minutes. 10 if I can get it, okay? So I want to hit some quick topics and tell you guys how the birth of the HomeLife came to be and how the birth of Shannon came to be. So it's, okay, I am a lifelong creator, okay? I never met my grandmother, my biological grandmother. The grandmother that I grew up with is my grandfather's second wife, okay? So she's not the creative one, but she definitely is the apple of my eye, okay? But my grandmother, my biological grandmother, from what I understand, she was a absolute creator. She never took a sewing class in her life, but she was able to create patterns. She was able to create these fantastic outfits before weave came back on the scene. She was capable of doing hair in a magnificent way. From what I understand, she was able to cut her boys' hair, because she had 3 boys and 3 girls. No, yeah, 3 girls. And she was able to take the boys' hair and implement it into the girls' hair. So she was the first, you know, full-on human hair weavologist. So that's where I understand that I get most of my gifts from. So at 9, I made my first pair of pants. I crochet. I've never learned how to knit, okay? My best friend's grandmother does knit, but I've never taken a class from her. It just seems so convoluted to me. But I crochet, I knit, I sew. I do not knit, I sew, I needlepoint, and what other little, you know, some other little creative knickknacks in there that I can do. I've been doing hair since I was 11. I didn't start collecting money until the following year at 12. Yeah, I didn't start taking full-on clients until I was 12. So that is what is birthing out. That's the basis of, or the foundation of the HomeLife, okay? That was the foundation of this channel, to teach people how to do hair, how to, you know, do makeup, how to, you know, just keep themselves up. I never thought that it would grow to this where I would have to come and introduce myself, clearly, because like people already knew me. So fast forward, I graduate from high school, I go to the military, and I did hair all through basic training. While everybody was asleep, Shannon was up collecting coins, okay? Okay. And when I left the Army, my ex was stationed in Schofield Barracks, Hawaii. And I was at that time separating and just becoming a standard old, you know, spouse. And the neighbor next door came over for something, I can't remember what, but she saw how I had organized our storage closet, where on one half was all of the gear, and then on the other half was all of the items that I just stockpiled. And she was like, oh my God, like I need you to come do this for me. So I was like, all right, you know, whatever, I ain't doing nothing. So I go next door, I organize her life. Like I cleaned her life, I organized her life, like I got her together. And word continued to spread, and so I literally was just going around organizing people's TA50 gear. So a girlfriend of mine who introduced me to Facebook was telling me, like, and she was the one that really got me into makeup to where it is now. Like, I liked makeup before then, but I loved makeup after she introduced it to me the way that she did. Like, it was a full-on, let's go have girls' time, let's go have a girls' day. Like, I can never not thank her enough for doing that for me and really giving me that push to love it and not feel like I have to have cake face, I gotta be somebody different and ugly. It was like she really introduced me to makeup to where it's an accentuating thing. It's not like I got a cake, because cake face was the thing back then. So fast forward, I started doing hair, and at that time, between 2009 and 2010, in Hawaii, doing ethnic hair was extremely expensive. To get kinky twists was like $250. Any type of individuals, whether they be micros or not, were, I want to say $500. I want to say, yeah, about $500 or $1,000. And sew-ins were $250. So I was clearing out $1,000 a day easy just off doing hair. Cornrows were $200, $180. Like, I was used to that pricing with the Africans. I wasn't used to that pricing in somebody's kitchen, you know. And at that time, I wasn't really in a position to understand what I could have been. So, silly me, I started an account at a local bank to put the cash in, because I really just don't like cash. It's not my thing. And I didn't want to touch it. I just wanted to turn it all into, you know, turn it all into them, let them deal with all them germs and stuff. And the teller told me, you know, we can no longer accept any more cash. You have to bring us some type of proof, because unbeknownst to me at that time, Hawaii has a huge problem, a huge drug problem with ice and meth. And I was like, sis, I ain't no drug dealer, like, I do hair. And she was like, well, you need to have hair receipts. And so from my understanding, with my state, the state of Georgia, you have to be, you know, licensed in order to have a hair receipt, because you doing somebody's hair, I ain't about to catch that smoke for you. And at that time, I didn't know that Hawaii did not have those same stipulations. So I was like, okay, well, let me just go get a job and work, and I'll figure it out later. So I closed the account, left well enough alone, and then I went and got 4 jobs. I was doing 22-hour work days, and I was just trying to get up enough money that way when I moved from Hawaii back to Atlanta, I would have some money on me, like some type of safety net. Well, another story for another day. But when I moved back here, I started going to school for interior design, and it was tremendous to say the least. I am a natural at crafting. I am a natural at seeing. I'm a natural at being able to morph, okay? I didn't know at that time, at 19, what I was doing was considered organizational design. I had no idea that there were foundations, and I didn't know that there were organizations and chapters started for a field that I literally just enjoyed, you know? And at that time when I was doing, when I separated from doing hair, I separated because of the legalities. If I did this, that was $50, that was $75. Like, nothing I did was over $250. And when I moved back to Atlanta, actually, a very, very famous YouTuber, her mother actually put me on to YouTube, and she was like, well, you know, my daughter, she does it and she gets all these things, and maybe you should try it too. Like, I think you would be great at it. And I was like, social media ain't really my jam. Like, if you know me, you know me, but what I ain't about to do is all of that. So fast forward, I want to be a mom. Like, I want to be at home with my kid. And like I said, my daughter and my niece are 4 months apart, and I really rolled my sister like, do not send my niece to no daggone daycare when I'm at home. I'm here, we're not doing nothing. Bring my niece to me. When it's time for them to go to school, then let her go to school. But daycare, cut it. Cut it. So, I was just our schedule has always worked out. That is one thing that I can always say about my sister and brother. Like, they make it work. Like, they make being a co-parent easy. Like, seriously, they're the best aunt and uncle that you can really hope for, and the best sister and brother that you can really hope for when it comes to parenting kids, especially small kids. But ultimately, when I got ready to go to school, I just had to make it all work. Like, I still had my niece, I still had me, well, my husband, I still had me to consider, and I was just trying to make it all work. Like, I like doing YouTube, I like doing the tutorials, but it was a job. And when you got two naked toddlers running around all freaking day, it's like, first of all, I can't put them on camera because they naked. Like, if you literally turn around and do this, they naked. And it's like, who can film in that? And then at that time, my husband was really chauvinistic and was like, man, you better handle them kids. He wasn't, girl, no. He definitely wasn't about to come help. And he really wasn't for the social media thing either. So it took a while for us to get to a point where we could all honestly be great, okay? But in the process, my husband's a musician. Anybody that knows about this homemaking lifestyle or this one income lifestyle, it is extremely tremendous on the person staying home, and it's extremely tremendous on the person that's going to work. Now, even when my husband was in the military, he still had 2 other jobs, okay? He's a workaholic. He really works for the sake of working. Honestly, I don't think he worked for the money. Genuinely, I still don't think he works for the money. I think he works for the money to bring it home so that I can have it. And I've told him this, okay? I really told him this, and he's just like, nah, that's not it. And I'm like, the way you work, I can't tell. So, his schedule was intense. Like, managing his engagements, like, because he's a musician, managing like his speaking, and like he didn't really speak, but the fact that people wanted him to show up and say words was intense. Managing his schedule and like accounting for every single dollar that he was bringing in, accounting, like being my husband's bookkeeper is more intense than I could have ever imagined, to be quite honest. And I would call my sister and be like, are you doing this at work? And she'd be like, yeah, like I'm doing da 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 da. And I'm like, okay, so legit he's in business and don't even know it, you know? And I would sit him down and we would have these conversations. I'd be like, babe, you're in business and you don't think that you're in business because you haven't put a title on it. And I'm in school, I'm taking a full load, plus we've got 2 babies, you know, and a host of other stuff going on. Like, something gonna have to give. Like, I'm gonna need you to help me help you. Like, help me help you. And so finally, what really made me take a step back was during my internship while I was in school. It ain't never no parking. This how you know it's so late in the day that all the parking is empty. Whole parking deck. And the day that I got the internship was the first day that they hired the interior designer. Let me show you how God worked. And she accepted me instantly. She was like, yep, I will teach you everything I know. I need the help. So I want to say I started the internship, and then a couple of weeks into it, she just saw that I was stressed, and she just blatantly said, you know, Shannon, you got small kids, and I understand that you're saying that, you know, this is what you want, but there's a lot more at stake than just this. And in so many words, she just told me to go get my affairs in order. And I said, okay. I took it. Now, mind you, she was Russian, and this hospital was extremely a hard environment for her to be in, because as a designer, you are always having to prove a point, you know? And she didn't expect me to really receive what she was saying as she was saying it. So in that week that I took off to get my affairs in order, I realized, like, okay, I got a lot going on. I got a lot of stuff I need to get organized. Let me take a step back. So I called her and was like, hey, I'm not coming in for next week. And she was like, okay, no problem. I'll, you know, update everybody, let them know that you're not going to be in, and we'll go from there. So I was like, okay, well, you know, cool. So in that week is when I actually really sat down and realized where my YouTube channel was going, what content I was actually going to put out, and how what I was doing was not only affecting those on the other side of my camera, but those in the background of my camera. And what I learned in that time, in that little bitty 2-week time frame, was I have to be extremely careful about the content that I put out and how I put it out. And then I had to be even more careful about exposing my kids, because I didn't want what I was doing to affect their life and how they chose to go about doing certain things. So it's not to say that the content that I put out is not true to me. Like, yeah, it's true to me. This is me, this is the home life. But at the same time, I have to respect other people's privacy. And whether or not as I am a parent, if it comes down to the point where you need me to walk with you, which I have, through something, there's no amount of this that's gonna get you through. Seriously. you gonna need to call me. I'm gonna need to commune with you in a lot closer quarters, you see. So after I birthed out the HomeLife, then the next step was to birth out Shannon Ty. Now Shannon Ty started in a plethora of different ways. She didn't just start out as Shannon Ty. As a matter of fact, I went to a couple of seminars at ADAC, and I spoke with quite a few people in the industry, and they all said the same thing. What does the name of your business say the moment somebody says it? And at that time, I couldn't really answer. At first it was Shannon Smith Interiors, it was Shannon Smith Design. It was everything but me. Like, I just wanted to appeal to the masses of those looking for me, and it just wasn't me. Like, it just didn't fit, you know? So I was really trying to uphold a facade on the pretense of business, but that it just wasn't me, you know? And I didn't do it in a negative way to off-put or to offset, but the professionalism that those names presented were not the character of myself. So I really had to pray about it. I really had to pray about it. And finally, my name came. And it's my name. And so growing up, my aunt used to always call me Shannon Ty. And that's because my middle name is Taisha. And so when I thought about it, I was like, she had the answer all along. She right. My name, I am Shannon Ty. I'm Shannon Ty. Like, Shannon Ty is the designer me. Shannon Ty is the creative me. Shannon Ty is the ultimate me. Like, when you say Shannon Ty, like when I hear Shannon Ty, when she says it or when she used to say it, it referred to a me that she was calling to itself, if that makes sense. Like, Shannon Ty is the decorator. Shannon Ty is the designer. Shannon Ty is the theorist. Like, when you say Shannon Ty, you are thinking of everything fancy, glamorous, and just outright left-wing, amazing, just, that is Shannon Ty. And that's what I wanted to embody in my business. When you said that name, I wanted you to never experience a boundary. And so the people that I work with don't expect boundaries when it comes to me. They expect me to be exactly Shannon Ty. They expect me to be myself. And when I birthed it out and Shannon Ty came to be, it's been the most exhilarating experience I could ever speak to, honestly. And that's what these channels are about. That's what my Instagram is about. That's what communing is about. It's about me being me and helping you along the way. The HomeLife is me being just that, a mother and a wife and a friend and a sister and a cousin. It's me being the woman of my life, you know? But Shannon Ty is the fulfillment of me being everything that embodies Shannon, you know? I'm not just a wife. I'm not just a mother. I'm not just a friend. I'm not just a cousin. I'm not just that, you know? I am that and more. So I had to find a way to channel all of that energy and to channel all of that creativity in a constructive manner, because we as creative people can be so unorganized and so just everywhere to the point where there is nothing getting done. And I live in a household full of creative people. Like seriously, I birthed out a creator. I take care of creators. I married a creator. So there are so many different art forms rolling around in my house, and it's like on any given day, my husband can come to me and say, hey, I just wrote out a whole album. And I'm trying to figure out when you had time to do it. I ain't seen you pick up no pen. And literally he will roll out all this stuff that he did, and I'm like, whoa, okay. That was new. And to his, you know, bless his little heart, to him, today I got my hair out and tomorrow I got weave. I'm not a wig fan. I might be eventually, maybe not. But to bless his little heart. Like seriously, he don't know what he gonna get from day to day with me. Today I'm trying to, you know, do this. Tomorrow I'm doing that. Like, look at my walls. All of that. Come on, how can you live with that? Like seriously, how can you live with somebody like that? So, I mean, this channel is me being me, and you along for the ride of me being me, and us being helpers to one another, because that's exactly what we are. We are helpers to one another. And if you feel like anything that I put out is not authentic, if you feel like anything that I say is offensive, or you feel like it might be testy, to know me in real life is to know that that is just me. Okay, it is really just me. I say, like, as much as I say, there's 10 times more I don't say. But I say it out of love, because that's me. Like, I am love. I love people. I love to serve. This is me, and this channel is me serving. It's showing my servitude in a way, in a more intimate way, so that those that struggle in these areas of servitude can have a point of relation to say, okay, this is my starting point, but I'm gonna graduate to what best fits me. And that's just the end of it. Like, that's the end all be all. Like, I hope this made sense, and I really hope that this gives you guys a preamble into who I am and what these channels are about. Like, I'm birthing out all of me into you. I want to pour into you. I want to pour into your life. I want to pour into your family. I want to pour into your children. Like, I want to know about the simple things that are going on with you. Like, I want to know that you finally got a little bitty pea shoe in your garden. I want to know when your kids finally learn how to tie their shoes and how you use that method to teach them. I want to know you overcame the thought process of it's not worth all of that to I am worth it, and I'm gonna go through this process, and this is how I was doing it. I want to know those things, because that's exactly what this channel is for me. It's me pouring into people in a way, in a capacity that is just natural for me. Interior design is natural for me to pour into that. There's more to it, and I'll get into it in a different video, but that's me being me. And when it comes to the home life, I've been a servant as long as I can remember, and I don't know too many people that can take on this amount of servitude. I don't, and I don't expect it. But I've learned that there are some people that desire it and that want it, but that are embarrassed to say it, and they don't have a point of relation. So I hope this sums it up for you guys. I hope you feel like you know me a little bit better now. But don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe. I look forward to hearing from you guys. And if you see all this junk in the back, that's because we're spring cleaning and I'm trying to get my life together. As you can see, my life needs to get fully together. My baby done lost the nail, Jesus. Y'all have a good one.